on the business connection. Of course, we are not going to take too much of your time. We want to get right to it. It is your business, it is the policies, it is the nuances that exist in the Nigerian economy and how they affect your business. Now, if you're a business owner, if you're an investor, if you're someone who has started a business, you know the role that loans play. Somebody said that business owners are the biggest borrowers on the planet. In fact, they would borrow so much that if you ever see their debt profile and how much they owe and all of that, you'll be scared and ask yourself. But then there are people who borrow just so that they can do certain things that are not precisely within the business context, and that's where borrowing can be an issue. But then this conversation is one that we'll be getting to shortly, and I have quite the individual to have this conversation with. You've heard him a couple of times on Super Saver, but this is the first time you will be hearing him in person on the Breakfast Show. His name is Adedolapo Roluga. He's an experienced investment banker and certified financial analyst. His career has spanned over a decade ago in various industries like banking, telecommunications, e-commerce. He's passionate in helping people grow their financial portfolios. Well, our financial portfolio that we need to grow is listening right now. So you might want to get a pen and some paper to write things down, or probably even take a note and probably visit his Instagram page and send him a DM eventually after this program to say, Mr. Dolapo Roluga, I need to learn about this. So his Instagram is Adola Rolls, DOLA ROLLS. I just looked at the fact that, your name is Roluga. And of course, the Dolapo and the roles actually works. It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, it's always a pleasure to have these conversations with you over the phone and talking about things like this, but then you're in person, and it's just a pleasure to have you in the studio. Well, if you'd like to see what's happening in the studio, you could actually visit the YouTube page right now at Super FM Lagos and watch this live interview. You could also catch a repeat broadcast of this by watching it on YouTube, because it's always going to be there, and you can see Dolapo and I go back to back on this particular conversation. Now, before we go into this conversation today, I want to bring you up to speed with a 4% FOB levy that will hurt consumers, strain households' budgets, and of course, this is coming in from the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, who has come out to speak on this. Now, I want to give you a perspective, and then we can then go into some of the conversations we have today. So, Bukola Saraki, Nigeria's former Senate President, has called on the federal government to reconsider plans to implement the 4% free on-board levy initiated by the Nigeria Customs Service, the NCS. Now, Saraki, in a post on his X Saturday, criticized the development, stressing that it would add to the burden of many Nigerians who are already reeling from a cost of living. So reeling from the cost of living. The former Senate leader also knocked the NCS for its rising operational cost, which he estimated at over $1.5 billion annually in a country where 129 million are living below the poverty line amidst harsh economic conditions. Now, we know that there has been a really very serious economic condition and a downturn in Nigeria. And a lot of people are not just shifting towards business loan. A lot of people are shifting towards personal loans, and this, of course, can be problematic. But then let's talk about generally what loans are, and let's start with what are the key differences between business loans and personal loans.
Okay, so personal loans are loans that have been taken by private individuals.
Okay.
So it could be either salary earners, or they could be just normal individuals who want to use it for personal reasons.
Okay.
While for business is for corporate organization, people who have registered their businesses. Those are the people who register those kind of businesses. So corporate organizations are the ones who take the business loans.
So it's beautiful. So personal loans, business loans. In itself, is there anything wrong with taking a personal loan as opposed to taking a business loan? And really, someone asked me once, I want to start a business, I need a loan over 1.5 million. And personally, in my mind, I have this red flag. Like, when I hear loans, I'm like, you want to take a loan to start a business? Is that a smart move? Let's go.
So now, for personal loans, I would say anyone who intends taking a loan, so like we have personal loans where people want to buy. So we have auto loans. That's for people who want to get a car. We have mortgage loans for people who want to get a house.
Okay.
So the idea behind it is, for personal loans, it deals with the reason behind taking it.
Okay.
So if you actually want to use it for a reason that is quite urgent or is necessary, and you have means of paying back, by all means you can go for
ahead.
it.
Okay.
But for business loans, one thing in Nigeria we do is that banks do not give loans to startups. So you have to have run your business for a period for at least 12 months.
Okay.
And whatever percentage they would even give you on will be as a result of the turnover in your corporate account.
When they've looked at your books.
Exactly. So that is what they will use to determine how much they feel you are capable of receiving. Because banks lose their money. So they want to be sure that you have the capacity to receive it and also to pay back.
Okay, so beautiful. We do not give loans, business loans, to businesses that are startups. If you're just starting, if you have your idea, you've written everything, it looks good on paper, you even have probably experience in the fact that you've done this, maybe working with a company, and coming to say, oh, my experience with this company in the last 25 years, I'm looking to start my own business model. This is my business plan. These are my analytics for logistics. These are my analytics for income. These are my analytics for customer retention and everything. Banks do not give loans.
Banks don't give loans.
Is this a practice that is attainable?
It is overseas, especially in the Western world, we have people and we have enterprises that actually look for startups to invest in. Why? Because once they give a share of their investment and they see that it's something that's likely going to be profitable, they would happily get invested.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, because of maybe the peculiarity of our environment and the people, so banks have been hit so badly that they want to be sure that you've been in that space for a while and you know what you are doing, so that not you get involved in something that you are not sure of and you now crumble it, and banks are now looking for how to get back their money, and you're saying, it's my first time, so I did not know that this environment was not best for me to dive into. Okay,
so generally, banks will not give you a loan to start out a business, except, of course, you have a track record. There are books they can look at and everything. Thank you very much for that. We're going on a quick break right now, but when we return from the break, I have another question to follow up. What are the most common types of business loans available? And, of course, the ones that are available today, we'll talk about that shortly. But right now, we need to go on a quick break. This is Super FM 92.7, your one family, one radio station. And if you're listening, you're a business owner, you have some questions about business loans and personal loans you'd like to ask, please send a WhatsApp message right now to 0705 6907. I head on this quick break. When we come back, definitely I'll take your questions and more. Stay tuned. This is Super FM 92.7. We'll be right back. Okay, stay tuned.
Super FM 92.7. The world is
Their business bad thing, but then for you to access a business loan in Nigeria, you need to have had some track record, some level of experience, some books the banks can look into, just to be able to ascertain that you are bankable and you are able to make money on the level at which, if they're giving you a loan, you can repay adequately. Now, let's look at the types of business loans that are available to individuals or
customer. or we give us something that is whatever or whatever item you have. So that's one. But the unsecured loans. So we have loans whereby, for instance, the person might not bring a collateral. But what bankers would do is they will go to your shop and they would violate, or they will value the goods and the stocks that you have. So they'll use that as collateral indirectly. Do you understand? So that in case you default, they can go to your shop and pick your items and now use that to.
So so let's talk personal loans as well. What types are there? And of course, you for certain types of loan based, which you said the secured they may be. But let's talk personal loans for now.
Okay, so now for personal loan, staffs that have their salary, that's one. Two, whatever amount you're going to access shouldn't be more than 33.3% of your annual salary.
Okay.
Why? Because for instance, if someone collects 1 million, you know that the highest you can collect as a loan, or you have to value it and put a situation whereby, because they know that aside you paying that loan, you still have to live, you still have to survive.
Some needs that things work, because a lot of times people are looking at some of these things, and then I think it's necessary that you understand what the percentages in your salaries are, because of course accessing a loan is easy. Paying back is the
So banks would only give to certain type of businesses. One of the businesses they always give are people who are traders, because they need something to still hold on to, even though they're not giving anything to hold on to. So they need to at least know that you are someone who has or who does volume when it comes to transactions. So when they see that, okay, you are a trader and you have various things that you sell, either in supermarket, you sell in Lagos Island market, whatever type of market. But once they see that you do have stock, regular income of stocks, they would use that as a basis to give you. So banks have, for various loans, they have various criteria. So they structure it in various ways that would please the people. So for banks, when it comes to paying back, we have something called tenor loans. The word tenor means it has a tenure of payback. So for instance, there are some people who, let me put it also, one of the reasons that banks would use when it comes to giving out loans is they will need to look at the person's cash cycle. Cash cycle means your cash flow, the amount of money that enters. So for various types of businesses, they get money either quarterly. Some businesses collect money weekly. Some collect money monthly. Is that we use to structure for each individual. Why? There are some people who their business deals with a quarterly thing where either they supply every quarter.
At the end of 3 quarters, at the end of the quarter.
So when they're structuring the loan, they're going to structure it in a way whereby the person is just going to pay back at that quarter. They won't structure it in a way whereby you have to pay every month for that 3 months. No, because they know that first 2 months automatically you are not going to have the money aground. So it's best they put it at a time that it will be easy for them to collect their money. So going back to personal loans, there are some people who, from some companies, especially maybe these blue chip companies, that they give out upfront, they give out bonuses. So there's already their salary payment. So someone who works in such a company can work to them, having this amount, I'm going to be paid as my upfront. Please kindly give me a loan on this upfront. The bank will give you that money and now structure it in a way whereby they will not debit you monthly. They will take it at that date of your upfront. So everything about loan is structured as a result of each individual's life cycle, either personal or your business. So they will use that so that they will know how they can get back the money.
Okay, so thank you very much for making these clarifications and putting all of this in place. Of course, you're speaking from the perspective of the banker code, or there are certain loans being accrued, that why you would probably check your bank app and you see that you are not eligible for this type of loan. Of course, some people look at their bank apps and they're like, oh, you are not eligible for this because you don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have maybe a salary account with us. Now, let's talk about the credit scores and the likes, because of course we know that it's something that I have to can maybe access good loans or healthcare or something. How does that apply in the Nigerian loan and income circuits?
Okay, so Nigerian, we don't really have a structured credit score facility. So for instance, someone who works to bank A can apply for loan, then still walk up to plan B. He might default and go to plan B. The only way bank B can know is because there's a credit bureau
Okay.
that all bankers use. So no matter how much loan you take, either it's an individual loan or it's a business loan, the person's name would be on that bureau. So the only way the person can know is them checking. So they just go and check the
So
person's.
the due diligence has to come from the banks.
Exactly. So they will now check your name, your BVN, to be sure that, okay, is this particular person owing in any other bank? Has he ever defaulted in any other bank? So they just use that as a basis that, okay, you do not have any pending loan. Yes, we can now give you a loan. Collecting several loans. So this is his part. Johnson, to know the amount to now give out.
Okay, so they don't use that metric to say, oh, you have a good credit score, then we can give you higher loans. It's just about to see if you've defaulted.
Yes.
Okay, so coming from the perspective of a consumer, isn't it necessary that we have such maybe detailing our percentages, the fact that we don't default, the fact that we've been maybe you've run a business for 12 years, you've been collecting loans from different banks and you've never defaulted, or even when you default you always make time to pay as soon as possible. Isn't this something and the information that we have on individuals and their loan history?
Yeah, so it's an ongoing process. We are working towards getting everything simulated who are owing in any bank or in any microfinance. With that, you are able to not have that that platform to say, okay, over the years, here's $1,000. If you're able to pay back, your score will increase. That means you can take and apply for $15,000. Once you pay that, you can now go ahead. Unless if you have a particular bank where you work with.
Other bank.
Yes, not.
So if by that record
that you say, okay, you had collected loan in certain bank and you had paid back, so they can use that as a basis, or just that the bank would verify it. So if they are able to verify that yes you have, then they'll use that
as a metric. Okay, so beautiful that you've put this out there. We can see that there are some similarities in the system with the foreign scene, and that can actually be worked on. Now I want to talk about loan eligibility and more robust.
First of all is your ability to pay back. So as an individual, before I walk up to any organization and say, please, can you lend me money? I have to look at ability to pay back whatever within certain X months. I can pay back a certain amount. The idea of taking loan is for you to actually request. The bank will just look at and verify that, okay, the bank or the organization that you need to supply, what is the certainty that they will pay back that money if we give you. Once they are able to verify it and you know, okay, that is a reputable company, the banks will definitely pay and give the person the loan. Okay,
so finally, Dolapo, before we let you go, of course, this is a conversation that I'm sure. Is it a bad thing to start or to upscale your business with a loan? Looking at the present economic situation of Nigeria now, would it be an advisable thing to upscale your business with a loan? Looking at the interest rates and everything that we've seen come up recently.
Yeah, so as much as the interest rate is going high, so for some banks, you see when they give you a rate of like 32.34% for taking loans. But the thing is, it's still good for people who actually want to upscale, because you need money to build your business. The minute liquidity or cash flow dies in a company, that is the beginning of the death of the company. So in order for your business to keep running, you need liquidity, you need cash, and you need to keep expanding in whatever way. So it's always good people do. The only problem is that we, the consumers, it will still trickle down to us.
But because of the costs.
Definitely, but it is still advisable for business owners to take loans.
Okay, thank you very much, Dolapo Roluga, for making out time to be here today. Of course, time flies when you're talking business and you're talking money, but then it's been my pleasure having you here today.
My pleasure.
Okay, so you'd like to catch a repeat broadcast of the Business Connect. We started this conversation at 10:30 a.m. You're just joining now. You've missed quite a lot, but you can catch a repeat broadcast on our YouTube at Super FM Lagos. Just search Super FM Lagos on our YouTube and you can find the Business Connect conversation with Dolapo Roluga right there on the page. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Okay, we've got to get to the music.